Glenfield Planning Commission. Wouldn't mind please standing for the pledge. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Can we get a roll call, please?
John Drawinski.
Present.
Mark Nelson.
Here.
Tim Clayton.
Present.
Dave Anderson. Joe Gacy.
Here.
Jim Hajic.
Here.
Bill Metzger.
Here.
Mike Duffy.
Present.
Sean Finney.
Here.
Ryan Deutmeyer.
Here.
Nick Feller.
Here.
Deborah Gritters, present.
Thank you very much.
And the record reflect that Dave Anderson is not present.
Okay, thank you very much for that. You have the minutes for several meetings, August 28th, 2025, December 11th, 2025, March 19th, 2026, May 14th, 2026. What are the wishes of the board regarding these?
Mr. President, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from August 28th, 2025, December 11th, 2025, March 19th, 2026, and May 14th, 2026.
Thank you. There's a motion by Mr. Clayton. Is there a second?
A second.
There's a second by Phil. Sorry.
That's all right.
All those approved? Sorry, all those,
Wait,
One
wait,
second.
I got a question. Why do we go all the way back to August 28th, 2025?
It was just a timing with staff.
Okay.
there were some pretty dense meetings in there. I think a lot of minutes to kind of
Okay.
compile.
Not a problem. I read it and I remember most of it, and I was just wanting to make
Yeah.
sure. Okay.
There was also some study sessions. There was just some miscommunication on whether those needed to be. It's basically the choice of the commission whether or not to have study sessions, to have formal minutes. We ultimately decided that we should have any public meeting of this board to have the minutes approved. That
100% agree.
When developers or residents or people ask for minutes of a meeting they know attended, there are minutes.
There are records
And you
of
don't
that,
have to
which is great.
explain, well, we have a memoranda, it wasn't approved, you don't want to have to do that.
Okay, perfect. There's a
Thank
motion
you.
and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Very well. Minutes are all approved. Moving on to old business. Item number 1, public hearing and recommendation to the town council. Update to town code chapter 156 zoning regarding annexation for schedule criteria. Is this Deb? Is this you?
Sure. This update to the town code establishes the annexation fee, which enables for future annexation. What this does is it creates a standardized cost framework for all future annexation requests.
Okay. So is this a public hearing?
This is a public hearing.
Okay, at this point, I'd like to open up the public hearing for item number 1. Is anyone here that'd like to speak either for or against?
Mr. President, while you're doing that, just for the record, this was properly advertised in the newspapers as well.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Going again, anybody for or against? Okay, hearing nothing, I will close the public hearing at this time and entertain a recommendation to the town council, if so be.
I'll make a favorable recommendation to update a town code, chapter 156, zoning annexation fee schedule criteria.
There's a motion by Joe, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mark, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, any opposed? Very well. Moving on to new business, item number 1, request for a public hearing, docket PC 2025-11. This is for a zone change from AG, which is Ag to PDR. The owner is Donald Gray, petitioner is Lennar Homes of Indiana Incorporated. Vicinity is 5510 East 117th Avenue, and again, this is for a zone change. The floor is yours, Mr. Clement.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President and fellow board members. For the record, my name is Todd Clevin, KLE, V as in Victor, EN. I am the Vice President of Land for Lennar Homes. I don't know if you're more tired of seeing me or the same presentation, so as I've said the last couple petitions that I've been up here, I'm gonna kind of breeze through it, but I am well prepared if I need to circle back to a certain slide or whatever to get in the weeds. Just a little history on Heron Landing. This is a subject property that resides pretty much at the northwest corner, at the T intersection, but if you kind of look at it as a four-way, it'd be the northwest corner of Gibson Street and 117th Avenue. Several months ago, if not a year, we unveiled the project to you and worked very diligently with staff and some of you individually as far as coming up with the concept and the overall plan that meets the vision of your body here. We agreed to 80-foot wide home sites, the larger home sites, and if you circle back to 5 years ago when we did Aylesworth, not only the town of Winfield, other municipalities within Northwest Indiana, including Dave Anderson, met with me several times just on Lennar's overall product. And I took that recommendation, not only from Winfield, but other municipalities, and I pressed really hard with our division, trying to get that same message across, that our product needs a good update. It needs to be facade type of tweaks and just bring it into the more modern type of era. I was successful with that, but unfortunately at the wrong time. So as you know, I presented this project to you and we were denied on the product. I went back and we re-rendered the existing product that was presented to you at that time, and then you approved that product. Going back to the opening comments where I was pushing very hard with Lennar to change our product, the paths crossed and they pulled that lineup out from us. They deemed it inefficient and they introduced a new lineup. That was right when we were at the 11th hour, as you know. Last time we were in front of this board, we received a favorable recommendation. Not unanimous, I think it was a 6-1 vote. And we were in front of the town council to receive our final vote, and that's when I was made aware of that lineup had been discontinued. So it was self-inflicted, and at that council meeting, I asked to be remanded back to the Plan Commission so we can introduce the new lineup. Since that time, I've gone back and forth, submitting that lineup, I think, on 4 revisions to staff, and I know some of you may have seen that through some emails, and that is the lineup now that I have in front of you. The last request, since that's the middle, was would we be willing to enhance the front of the homes with hardy board? And I'm here this evening to agree to that. So what you have in front of you are 6 plans, 13 elevations. They range from 2,000 feet up to 3,000 feet with an ASP north of $550,000. That's about $50,000 higher than the original submittal that you approved prior to us asking to be remanded back to you. Not only did we dress up the facade of this new lineup and also agree to hardy board, we are also taking the interior one step further. So we really want to capture that home buyer that we have different categories. It's called a 3A. We want to capture the 3A targeted buyer, which I think is the vision of the municipality as far as the occupations that they want to see come into Winfield. So we were successful internally of making this all come together at a very, very fast pace. And I'm in front of you this evening asking for permission to be put on a public hearing. And if I'm successful with that, due to my time constraints and talking with staff, that there's possibility of consideration to hold a special meeting for us, because I am under time constraints with the seller meeting a hard deadline of closing on the property at the end of July. So again, I told you I'd keep it short. I can get into the weeds, but the reason I'm here this evening is to be asked to be put on a public hearing. And if you'd consider, if you do agree for that, if you consider doing a special public hearing for us, which we would need about 14 days from tomorrow to properly notify. And then if we're successful at that meeting, we would then be in front of your July 28th council meeting for the final approval. And then we could still close in July, and then we would anticipate breaking ground in August. So with that, I'll open up any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Deb, do you have anything you'd like to add before we kind of open discussion or anything? Yeah, is there anything you need to add or any comments?
I think there's just little things, I think the PDR submitted does not cover the 2-foot, brick wraps on the new housing stock that was being proposed. And I think it's just little final, like typos,
Okay.
administrative,
It is our intent to
Yeah.
wrap the corners.
perfect.
And it's also our intent to provide hardy board on the street facing corners as well. If that is something that the town would be asking of us. So any street facing view, all the fronts would have hardy board on them. And for those that might not be familiar with hardy board, it's the cement composite, gives you that taller look of siding, maintenance free.
I do have one more question.
Sure.
Does that include the lots on the corners as
Yes.
well, next to?
Yeah, so
Would
if
that
it's a
be
corner
considered?
lot, the two street facing sides would have it.
So Todd, are you using the cementous board to replace the stone or brick?
No,
Okay,
it would replace the vinyl.
okay,
Stone and brick.
all right. I'll be honest with you, though, I'm not impressed with any of these proposals you have here compared to what we were looking at before. I mean, these seem like they lack some architectural enhancements that the other ones had that this one does not. You know, I see a lot of repetitive looking, tall towering kind of gable ends right there, which, you know, 3 out of the 4, maybe 4 out of the 7 pictures show the same thing. And as far as that stucco look on that story and a half like ranch thing, I mean, that looks like 1970s to me. So, yeah, I think we're looking for a 2026 look, not a 1970s look, you know, so, yeah, the way you have it proposed, I don't like it at all. I mean, I like what was originally proposed to us, and again, and I think you mentioned this, we sat around for a good many meetings, at least 3 that I can think of. We even had a private one in the back office here, where you entertained one with a larger group of people here that represent Lennar, which I don't see them here today. And, you know, we came to terms, we all shook hands and we moved on. But now we're looking at this, and I'm not gonna shake your hand on that.
Todd, you said the ASP was 550? Right, so what would be the low end, would you say? 530, okay. Well,
Can you make sure you're like near the microphone when you're talking, just so it picks up? Thanks.
so I will say, appreciate you coming back, appreciate you being completely transparent and honest about how we got to where we're at here, but this just isn't the product we had before. It's kind of a disservice to this board, all the time we spent. We did spend, Joe said, several meetings. We approved it, it went to the council level. You guys were honest. It's not the product we had before, and, you know, my opinion only, this board could decide. I don't think I can move forward with this, so, just let you know. Is there anyone else like to make any other comments, or?
I'm okay with it. I don't.
Okay. Alec? Guys?
How many of those houses are single garages? I thought everybody agreed on.
They'll all be 3-car garage.
All 3-car garage?
Even though they show 2-car, it is in the PUD that every house will have 3 cars, 3-car garage standard. All 146 homes.
Yeah, look
And I
at
do
it,
want-
it looks like Aylesworth all over again.
They're definitely completely different than Aylesworth, and especially with the hardy board front and the treatments that we have, the gable treatments. You know, I understand, and it's unfortunate that the other lineup was discontinued. You know, we've worked very hard. We've pulled some recent communities that were just approved, and when you put them side by side, I think that you do see a major difference in these. And, you know, I'm doing the best I can, and would love to bring this to fruition and move forward with this project and break ground as early as beginning of August. And, you know, this also brings the $300,000 towards the roundabout with the additional contribution at each building permit. It does connect 109th to 113th Avenue. We do have the larger home sites. We do have the large amenitized detention up front. We are providing detention for that roundabout with our contribution and the adjacent developer's contribution to that roundabout. You pretty much have more than, I think over 60 or 70% of the projected cost of that roundabout.
Hardy Board's kind of interesting to me. What are the thoughts? I don't know if it's been discussed. The Hardy Board is kind of a new thing for me on this specific project, but what about 3 sides? Has that been discussed? So front and both sides of every home, Hardy Board.
It has been discussed
Okay.
to me,
All right.
and if that is, we're just not so sure what that would look like. Why did you do 3 and not all 4?
Well, if you would like to do all 4.
If you think that'll keep the
I was
project,
just offering that up because I know how it's been.
if that would change the mind of some of the thoughts in here, you know, I could definitely run those numbers and have that answer at the public hearing.
Sorry for jumping in. I was just
No,
curious
I
about
mean,
that.
what's the pros and cons with the Hardy Board?
It's very expensive material.
Yeah.
But the pros, it's a very long-lasting material. It gives you that richer, deeper look. And I think it would achieve the look that the town is looking for. So in other words, you have that vinyl siding that should, don't quote me on this, let's just call it 3.5, 4 inches. The Hardy Board is probably 6 to 8 inches wide. And then each end is butted into more Hardy trim. So you have that fat corner look or thickened corner look.
All right. Have you seen that like LP Smart siding before, Phil? You know what that is?
Yeah.
Kind of has Hardy Board's the same in that it really has a lot of texture to it.
Yeah.
So you know it kind of looks like it's wood.
It's just a different brand. We actually have a nationwide contract with Hardy.
Hey, one other thing, Todd, you mentioned interior upgrades. What upgrades are we talking about?
So what we're doing is deluxe we're gonna, regarding the interior upgrades, we made the decision to offer gourmet kitchens, double ovens, backsplashes, cabinetry hardware, deluxe master baths, crown molding.
I think it's in your PowerPoint.
I do have some pictures of them. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
Those actually, I apologize, those are in there from the old one. We do not have pictures because this is all new with this product, so we do not have, they're actually much better than that because you have the crown molding on top of the cabinetry, you have the crown molding in the master bedroom, you have the double oven, you have the backsplash below the cabinets, you have the taller cabinets. Andre, is there anything else I'm missing?
No, I was just going to comment on the longevity of Hardy,
Oh, what is it?
how great it looks after.
Oh, yeah. Andre was just referring to the longevity and the appearance of Hardy Board.
Todd, can you educate me and maybe the board on, and again, totally ignorant to this, how does a product get discontinued? Did it not produce? What's the reasoning behind that?
With the recent region change that took place, we had 3 regions in the country, and each region was managed by a region president. Lennar then put the country into 2, and they went down to 2 area presidents, and then they took handful of divisions and assigned a region president for each one of those divisions. So while that was taking place during the submittal to the Plan Commission and then right when we were in front of the council, the region was working on eliminating lineups due to efficiencies, due to, for example, a lot of those, with your 1970 comment, a lot of those you'd walk into a dining room or you'd walk into a 2-story foyer, and it just feels that it's hindering sales because they're not, as efficient as the homes that have more of an open concept, more utilizing all the square footages rather than just aesthetics walking in, while I have this huge 2-story dining room and nobody ever uses it. The consumer home buyer would rather have flex rooms, offices, stay at home, work at home offices, those kind of things.
Okay.
These all have basements.
I'll be honest with you, Todd, I don't ever recall you bringing in a floor plan for any of these renderings.
No, we didn't. This is the first time you've seen it.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
I'm sorry. No, this is the first time you've seen it, yeah. If you had the other ones, we went to the council and definitely asked to be deferred and added back here because that's what the
But when you say you're making changes, I mean, we can't see changes. All I see is gable end, siding, front doors, garage doors, and some landscaping. But I mean, I have no idea that you're saying that you're having a different approach on how somebody walks into a home and, you know, likes or dislikes the
The question
open.
was referring to what is the change on the inside, and why that lamp is just, efficiency is for these are actually larger.
That's my point. We've never seen the floor plans on the other one that I can remember, so how do we compare them to this one?
Yeah, unfortunately, something.
I mean, how do we know those didn't already exist?
How do you know these ones aren't?
No, how do we know the other ones didn't already exist? Because, I mean, it's just a plan. It's not like a manufactured good where you make a cell phone, it's the same product over again. This is made off a blueprint. It's made to make changes, you know, and it's adaptable to people's desires.
The light up we replaced, we actually replaced it with this light up.
So we're talking about Hardy Backer on the front and that. What's on the opposite sides of it? Are we then vinyl on the other sides?
The other sides would be vinyl, but again, if it's gonna allow us to keep moving forward, I will commit to it now, we'll speak to it in detail
Commit to the 4 sides.
correct.
Four side Hardy Backer, no vinyl is what we're looking at. Okay. Cause I definitely wouldn't want that mix then if we were to look at it and then say, oh yeah, it's a mullet at that point.
I think that's what Todd
Yeah.
even, he didn't say mullet, but that's basically what he was saying.
I'm throwing straight into the mullet. So, alright.
Yeah, if 4 sides allow us to keep moving forward, you have my commitment tonight, and then I'll give you at the public hearing, give you the full commitment.
Any other comments? Anybody else? Like I said, my biggest thing is, and we've gone through this before, and we've gone all the way to the finish line, and something happened and it backed up. My fear is this happens again. How do we know we're gonna get there again, and there's not gonna be a change at the 11th hour?
The good thing is, if we do get to the council and it's approved, now it's ordinance.
Legal and
If we don't
binding.
want to change anything, we're right back in front of you, changing it. Believe me, I was not happy about that. That's why I appeared in front of the council naively, completely transparent as far as what happened. I can see me in your shoes, we're going to take the switch, but we really didn't get where. I can see I came in after the fact, after the council was really made the switch, but I stood right at that podium and spoke to the council for the true passion that I had, it was quite frankly embarrassing not to do it. But it did come from much higher than me. And if you look at the original submittal, where these are, like I said, these are version 4. There's a lot of accents on here, the gables, gable truss, portals. We added some shed roofs above the windows. Steepened up the roof pitches, added some other windows.
Also, you're interested, I know you were interested in my board, I do have some photos of that stuff that's constructed. If you're interested in seeing what's actually.
Oh, no, good, thank you though, appreciate it, yeah.
Because it does change the whole look. You can drive by a house that's under construction, but that's not really, it's just. Everything's great.
But you said this is, you pulled this from another region. Where are these houses being built now?
Minnesota is where the majority of them came from. And I believe some other regions out west. Lennar's goal is to streamline, try to mimic the same series of the lines we have, but do it across the country because we can capitalize on the same materials. But obviously, this is that line on steroids, we can really satisfy the town, that's why we added additional accents. And I think with Hardy, I was gonna have them re-rendered with Hardy. I saw one, couldn't tell. Yeah, it fell. And actually, it was one of my concerns, because when you look at a rendering and you actually see the final, you do see a difference, but we see Hardy, on all of it, that's giving that richer, proper edge.
I know
It's hard for me to
you
hear
can
with
remove the microphone and carry if you want to.
Start dancing and karaoke?
I don't know. Please don't.
In your request.
Yeah.
Country roads.
No. So this is, what we're doing here, this is a request for a public hearing. So this, to send it to a public hearing and let the public talk about it, and then we make a decision on it from there, so. In a nutshell, just go back with it. So we'll have one more opportunity even to see any changes that come to fruition, and if it's what it is, what it's gonna be, so that we can not have what happened in the past.
Right.
Actually, there's 2 more times to shoot it down, or to make sure that it's, or approve it at the same time, so.
So it sounds like you're ready to make a motion.
I'll just make a motion to send this to public hearing.
Okay, there's a motion by Tim, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Hayek. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
I oppose.
I definitely appreciate that, not for beggars to be choosers, but is there any way we could also discuss?
Yeah,
You
I-
should roll
that was a
call
little
that.
unclear
Oh, sorry.
there.
Yeah.
Roll call,
Roll call vote.
John Gawinski,
Nay.
Mark Nelson,
Approve.
Tim Clayton,
Yes.
Dave Anderson, Joe Gacy,
No.
Jim Hayek,
Yes.
and Phil Metzger.
It's 3-3.
Yeah, no action.
Council steps forward.
Well, if we throw
Can't
it to
move
public
forward.
hearing,
And a
if we throw it to
3-3
public
is
hearing, we can,
not 4. So there's no action.
You guys don't like this enough to take it to public hearing?
Because we can request for more information, look at floor plans, find out subdivisions this place is at, what it's being built in, and move on from there, because we still have another look at it.
Because whatever we say tonight, if it's a yay vote or a nay vote, this thing is still not approved.
Yeah, this is just to
Still a
send it to a
long
public
way. Yeah,
hearing
this is still a long way from approval.
whenever that public hearing would be.
Which would have to be determined, probably right now, if it moves.
Well, if one of these
So
other
with that-
gentlemen want to give a yay vote, that's
With-
okay
no,
with me.
it's
but
okay.
I'm not.
No,
That's
I'm
fine.
not.
That's fine.
What would
I just wanted to make sure
parliamentary
we.
procedure, would you just do another like
Then
C or?
if it remains a 3-3 stalemate, then no
And then it's
action,
done. Yeah.
then it is not
Yep.
sending it to public hearing. It's just stuck.
I truly feel that we're bringing a good product. I truly feel I went to bat for the municipality, risk a lot of stuff on my end with the company of Lennar. And I'm not asking you to approve something that you don't want, but I do think these homes are better than Aylesworth as far as we were asked not to bring in Aylesworth 2.0. And then also, let's not forget about the concept. You know, it's a good, large home site. Let's not forget about what it's bringing to Gibson Street, 117th, helping expedite that improvement. The connectivity from 109th, there's a lot of pros that go along with this. And it is adjacent to the property to the west, which I believe there's some vision there. I think that's been even disclosed now. I just think it's a great community, and we're not asking for 60-foot wide home sites. You know, you're getting that 80-foot wide home. It allows us to target that buyer that you're looking to move into Winfield. I just wanted to point out a lot of the pros and positives that the community brings to the town of Winfield. And, you know, if we're requested to go hardy board on all 4 sides, that just takes it up one step further. I know we could reconsider the vote, but I would strongly ask that we do.
Again, my simple thing on this is, again, we're not approving anything at all, we're just sending it to a public hearing. So then, you know, the public can come in and speak to or against on this, and as long as everything comes to the manner that is said, you know, that he's saying that it is, you know, that we can let the public then speak to it, not just the 7 people in that, so we can hear them out, so, I don't know.
All right, so I'm willing to change my vote, but let the record show that you better knock my socks off with what the final product is, and you better hold your word. like I say, I wanna see you succeed, I wanna see it go through. I think it's a great product, but like I said, we've been swindled once in my mind, and I don't want it to happen again, so. I'm willing to change my vote to get to the public hearing, to keep the process moving. You guys have been honest with us, but I'm not guaranteeing anything after this. You know, we'll see how it
And
goes.
that's the thing, I'm not for or against it.
Yeah. I-
This is just to get it to the public hearing so we can.
I think Todd and team
Process.
deserve the opportunity to present themselves to the public. They put a lot of effort into this, they spent a lot of money in these renderings. I think we owe them that service, so I'm willing to change my vote. If you guys are okay with it,
Can we take another roll call then?
Uh.
Well, let's go through the whole process. Let's
So-
start over.
I'd like to make a motion to send this to public hearing.
Second.
motion and a second, any discussion? All those in favor, let's do this roll call.
John Dewinski,
Yes.
Mark Nelson,
Yes.
Tim Clayton,
Yes?
Joe Gacy,
No.
Jim Hajic,
Yes.
Phil Metzger.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate your patience.
Wait, let's decide when the special meeting's going to be.
So I know it's 10 days, but our attorney's saying they need 14 to get it to the Northwest Indiana Times before they actually post it. So if we want to start counting 14 from tomorrow, including tomorrow, the earliest would be the 23rd of July.
When's the next council meeting?
28th. So the 23rd of July is actually a plan commission meeting that regularly gets canceled because we have it advertised as a study session. We would just kind of repost that as a regular meeting.
You're saying the 23rd would be a
We
special?
would just announce it as a special meeting. It would function as a business meeting rather than a study session.
I'm good. You guys good with that?
You said 23rd?
Okay, sounds good.
I'm going to take my,
Thursday, the
sorry.
23rd.
take my Lennar hat off and put my personal hat on as an old
No.
resident. I really
Let's
appreciate this.
Just stick with it that way.
Yep.
Be safe on that one.
Thank you.
We're through right now, so we'll just continue on.
So the 23rd, you have to vote on that, or that's just set?
That comes to the public hearing at that time.
They'll have the public hearing, they'll make a recommendation to the town council,
Okay.
and the council.
We'll have Todd Lee's office work with you immediately tomorrow morning to make sure that public notice is properly done and
6
and issued.
p.m.
6 p.m.
It'll be at 6 o'clock.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Todd.
Thank you, guys.
Let's just give them a minute to kind of clean up here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I did not want him saying something to shoot himself in the foot.
Good call.
Just, you know, we stick to the business right there, and then we'll just.
Mhm. All right, I'll get going as you pass items out. We're on to item number 2. This is a discussion item for the Newton Street subdivision, which is currently being handed out to every board member here.
I'm not as tall as Todd, clearly. Again, Doug Reddick from DVG, representing the landowner tonight who is here, as well as Mr. Ali Afraz. He's purchased this land several months ago. It's at the dead end of Newton Street, which is accessible through the Stonegate subdivision. It was built several years ago. It's about a 6-acre site, pretty well. It's very rectangular. Very developable property, rolling terrain. We were here 2 months ago, and we presented a plan similar to what's on the second sheet of what I just handed you. Basically just a straight through street through this property. At that time, we showed 12 lots, 6 on each side of the road. The detention areas similar. And that plan would have needed a little bit of forgiveness from the town because we wanted to go to smaller lots, smaller than what's allowed by your R2 ordinance. we were at 90 foot, your minimum lot width is 100 feet in R2. We had the lot area, but we didn't quite have the lot width. But we talked about it some more after getting some feedback from the plan commission. But we also came back with a second plan, because at the end of the meeting, I talked about, well, we could make it a cul-de-sac, because it's, I think they refer to the plan as kind of boring, which I have to agree. It's a rectangle and the lots are rectangular, but it is one way to develop the property. The first page of the handout is an alternate plan, which is a cul-de-sac. Once again, both of these plans, all the lots meet all your requirements. Setbacks, square footage, frontage, across the board, we meet all your requirements for R2. So really, either plan is functional to us. They both have 10 lots. The only thing I need to point out is technically your ordinance frowns on cul-de-sacs, which we are aware of, and I think we want to talk about that tonight. And if it's decided that the cul-de-sac is more desirable, then we got to talk about the length of the cul-de-sac. Your ordinance says the cul-de-sac should not exceed 300 feet in length. We're 375 to the property line and about another 165 to the center line of 120th place. So if it was your desire to go with the cul-de-sac, we would be looking for a waiver, I think it would be for the length of the cul-de-sac. So bottom line is 10 lots either way. Setbacks, square footages, all per ordinance. We wouldn't be asking for anything at all. And we're here tonight just to simply ask, which one do you prefer? We want to start engineering. We want to present this to the town and have the engineering reviewed. And he wants to move forward as soon as possible. So we're here tonight to get some feedback. Which option do you like better?
So Nick, is there any background on the cul-de-sacs and the reason we're kind
I
of,
would just generally speak to the subdivision control ordinance, and it speaks to connectivity to adjacent parcels with publicly dedicated roadways.
especially with all that open space to the south?
There's a ton of open space to the south.
You
I
look at
know
that, it
sort
cuts
of the
everything off.
flavor last meeting was cul-de-sac, but from a code perspective and really from a planning perspective, you really have to have the road go straight through. And,
Looking-
sorry, Tim.
No, you're
What
fine.
you're
Yeah.
Showing here is something we've done in the past when we anticipate future development or to accommodate it is a hammerhead.
That's
turnaround.
what I was gonna ask. That's a hammerhead shown on page 2.
It's temporary, but yes, we would put that in so people can turn around until the road continues.
I personally think that the connectivity is probably the biggest issue, because once you do that, then that blocks it off, and then it ends anything that may ever happen, and you lock in any landowner or anything of the sort like that.
And particularly if you look at the GIS of the access to that property, if you don't do it, it basically would turn into a long cul-de-sac from the other direction.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And the lots are actually wider with the straight through street, it looks like. Okay, 100 foot to 105 foot.
Are two
So-
detention ponds necessary in this design?
It'll depend what their calculations.
Yeah.
look like, but-
We haven't got into engineering yet, but most likely we need it for volume. We don't need two, and actually the cul-de-sac is connected.
Right.
So most likely we will need 2 small basins to meet the volume requirements.
It wouldn't surprise me in the least.
No, me either.
That they
But they need
that.
And
Yeah, with
I will
our
bring up
mix.
one more thing, even though we're not at a public hearing. The detention ponds, typically we put them in outlots. But if it was a plant commission's desire, we can make those detention ponds drainage easements on the adjacent lots. So, that was a no? Okay, I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring it up.
You beat
Different
me to it, Mike.
municipalities want it different ways, but we would rather have them in outlots and then maintained by the,
I would be in favor of, if, when you get into engineering, depending on topography and flow, if you wanna move one of those, like, forward, away from the other one, just to give it a little
Kind of like,
different.
you're saying like stagger it, so what's
Yeah.
Well,
Just give it a little bit of a different feel.
Yeah,
but unfortunately, that's the low ground. That's where they need to be. Yeah, it's almost a natural, the water's going there.
it just looks really out of place.
It's a little boring, I'm not gonna lie, but
yeah.
And that's where landscaping comes into play.
it's where what comes into play?
Landscaping.
Right, exactly. And that's the other good thing about that hammerhead, it won't be in somebody's front yard. We can landscape those ponds a little bit, the turnaround area the headlights won't bother anybody. So I think it's probably my preferred plan too. I like the cul-de-sac look, but I think practicality and planning wise, the straight through street does make more sense.
Mike, did you have any other thoughts on what you could do at the end of that street?
Doug, what I was thinking that you could do is you could put a cul-de-sac at the end of it. Just geometrically, we would fit one in between your ponds at the end, put a sidewalk around it.
Like a temporary type?
Well, like if the property
Doesn't have it.
develops to the south, then it's a cul-de-sac look, and then we would put it on the next developer who comes in after to remove the wings of the cul-de-sac essentially and push the road straight through.
Would the curbs go straight and then asphalt behind the curbs? Like, we've done it many different ways.
We probably just do it the normal way, and then we would just have the next developer come in and extend the curb, remove, the way, here.
I'm with you.
Everyone see that?
Can everyone
Yeah,
see
I
it
understand,
there?
yeah.
I'm with you.
Just something like that.
The concern or the question I have is your standard cul-de-sac has to have a 75-foot radius.
Yeah, I think that.
We could
I
maybe
would
work
say
with
that
you.
We would work on
Okay.
that, because that's way too big for this
It
type
is.
of approach.
Okay. Yeah, I
And
think-
I was looking at like 45 to 50 foot
Okay.
radius.
That makes more sense.
Because it's gonna be far better than a hammerhead for turnaround for the fire trucks anyway.
Agreed.
If we have that. I just think it might make for a better look.
It will make for a better look. I hope we can still make the detention volume work. If you could work with us on the radius, I would feel a whole lot better about that. I've done them where you put the curbs in and then we put asphalt behind the curb. It's a roll curb, so you can turn around, you can drive over it. Again, it works, it's more of a temporary look. There is some cost involved if we, put the curb in and then have to tear it out. Or, I'm sorry, yeah, because, well, you're saying don't even tear it out.
It would be the next,
You would have-
it'd be the next people.
Just-
I would say that we would,
Okay.
my recommendation would be that if somebody came next door and they needed to connect to it,
Make
that
them
would
do
be
it,
a caveat on their development, because they
Right.
would need the second point of access.
Correct.
Because they won't have it.
Right.
I agree.
I can picture exactly what you're talking about now. It's permanent, but we'll just put we'll put a little stub at the south end.
You just tuck it right up
Yep.
against, and then if next
Okay.
person comes in, needs the second point of connectivity, we say part of
You've
doing
got some
business is
extra
you gotta
width
rip
in
out the
those
cul-de-sac.
lines too.
I was gonna say,
To get
we added
volume, you can make.
Right, if I have to, I can make the lots a little smaller, because they're all 105,
Yeah.
110. So if I have to squeeze volume, I'll squeeze the lots, and yes, we can do that for sure.
Yeah, I like that idea.
So what we do is just continue the sidewalk around the cul-de-sac for a continuous loop for people walking. And what's nice about the outlots, you can kind of get a little more creative with the easements and stuff to allow for this to happen in a future condition.
Right, and I guess I would just need some, as we get to that point, that we have some engineering discretion from a waiver standpoint as far as, our code, the cul-de-sacs are huge.
Oh, yeah.
They're-
So,
yeah,
I
they
mean,
are.
it wouldn't need
It
to be
would,
that
it could
big
just
for
be
this.
baked into the waiver, and the waiver allows for you to explain.
So are we-
Waiver from subdivision control standards allows you to kind of explain that type of stuff.
It'd be 45-foot back of curb, 60-foot right away.
That's what I was thinking. Try it and see how it works
It's
with the
pretty-
detention, but
it's
that's a
pretty
fairly-
typical,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
pretty typical for a cul-de-sac, anywhere between 40 to
Yep.
50 feet.
Yep.
is about-
So for the purpose of this discussion, I'm in favor of the straight-through approach with the temporary cul-de-sac in there, as Mike talked about. I don't know about anybody else?
Yes,
Sounds like the flavor, or do you have any comments?
I got a question. Is there gonna be an issue with that detention pond with those houses next to it? Like filling up and
No.
draining over to them?
No, again, the detention ponds are on low ground, they'll have a spillway, the water level will be below the houses for sure.
Yeah, the stormwater code will take care of
Yep.
that.
Okay. Cause we have plenty of detention ponds that fill up over there. And they spill out.
Well, that's what they're designed to do. They fill up, spill, and then drain down, so.
Well, I just don't want the neighborhood to be coming back on this, that's all.
Okay. Any other comments? Any questions for us?
No, thank you very much. We have the direction we need to proceed. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Okay, moving on, discussion item, modifications to the town code. This would be Nick, I believe.
Deborah.
Deb, okay?
Well, this is just for, the district use table, updating that, and then our definitions for, use. What this does will ensure consistency with the current planning initiatives and objectives, and just regulate the standards for the town.
So my only question is, I can't see, gold sales, but it's not in any zoning district. Is there a reason we have it, but we don't put it anywhere?
We don't have it. If you look at the table,
Know what I'm saying?
on the back, when you,
Adult entertainment is.
I guess why did we add it if we didn't?
Any use specifically, not specifically mentioned in a zoning area would require use variance.
Yeah.
you go,
Oh, okay,
So you
like junkyard.
listed, so
and
there's
That's
stuff.
the
no
catch-all,
caveat.
but
Gotcha.
you need to be able to define gold sales as to what it is.
I got you.
Otherwise, people say, well, it's just a jewelry
Junkyard.
store, or it's.
I see, okay, I understand. That makes sense.
And we thought we better, put some regs in for cannabis sales,
I was just reading it.
as, I have seen cannabis sales going on at, they use some kind of lower tier, I talked to the police chief about this. There's one in, it's in Cherville or St. John, over there on 41, it kind of sits back from the road.
Hmm.
And I asked, Chief Bird about it, and he said, yeah, because they use sort of a different classification.
Delta 8.
I don't
Delta
know,
9,
I'm not
something
an
like
expert
that.
on it, but it's allowed to operate within the law. So I thought locally, we probably ought to create some regs on this, that way we don't get caught up in something like that.
So do we see value in going through each of these items individually, or?
No,
Okay.
unless you'd like to.
unless you like.
No, I don't, unless somebody has
I
an
was just hitting a little bit of a highlight
individual
reel
question
there.
on any particular
I think
ones.
that one you're talking about though was.
I'm good with them.
Smoke shop, vape shop thing, that was a big point.
I don't really know, I saw it though.
I was involved. I heard the rumblings.
Any particular questions from anybody?
Stores are going?
What is the next step in this? Is this,
Just advertise for a public hearing. We'll probably just go ahead and do that in at the regular meeting in August.
Okay, so don't do it in July here, just do it in.
We won't have time, it's gotta be 10, I mean, you'd really be
Ryan can do
pushing.
it.
Maybe they can work magic with the NWI Times, but they're impossible to get anything on a rush, like you have to put it in the Tribune.
Okay,
My preference is for stuff like this, just be on the regular meeting.
that's fine. Okay, I'm good unless there's any other questions, concerns?
no, Mr. President, I'd like to make a recommendation, send this for a public meeting.
Public
Okay.
hearing.
Public hearing.
Public hearing, is there a second?
I'll second.
And there's a second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed to that? Very well. Deb, do you have anything to add?
Don't.
Nick?
Nothing additional to add?
Ryan?
No, it was,
We're going right down the line
more
here.
exciting than I thought.
Yeah, pretty exciting. Mike?
Yes, sir.
Sean? Mr. Anderson?
I'm not here.
Okay. That time I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, second, anybody?
Second.
All right, thank you.
August.
You're like a ninja.